Are we late? Yeah, we're a couple minutes late.
But we can make up for it.
Put these on?
All right. Yeah, put those on for me, fellas. Test, test, test. Where sound is going. We are technically live right now. Welcome back to Cops Window. I'm your host, Eric Levine, and this is my first ever live broadcast. Thanks to Marcus. I got Officer Marcus Mendoza over here. Lieutenant, I call you Lieutenant K. Make sure you talk right into that mic. Yeah, pull it right towards you, but I don't know how you want me to introduce you, sir. So
Lieutenant K is good.
Lieutenant K is cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll work.
Yeah.
Your full name is actually on the thing, but as of right now, we'll just go with Lieutenant K. That'll work. First and foremost, gents, welcome. How's it going?
Thank you. Yeah.
Pretty
Good.
good.
Going good? Yeah. Pull that mic right up to your face there. I need those beautiful lips right on that mic there, buddy. So today's episode, what we're going to chit chat about is bike cops, cycling. And I don't mean motor cops. I'm talking like
Ring.
ring, pedal, super short shorts.
Oh yeah.
Lieutenant Dangle, all that good stuff. So
Yeah.
21 Jump Street. Desk Pop. Yeah, you have the right to remain silent. I love that shit. So you can swear, you can do pretty much anything, just no politics, no religion. And as always, everybody already knows we don't mention where we work, which is why I never do live. But because we all work at the same place, I know we're smart enough not to mention that.
Hopefully I'm smart enough.
It's true. Yeah. I won't speak too soon. If it happens, it ain't a big deal. The chief does know about this podcast and he's going to be a guest. So
Excellent.
Yeah. So he supports the cause, so to speak. Before we get going even further, I got some whiskey.
Excellent.
So
Let's do it.
I'm going to give you boys the good stuff. I just got this bottle yesterday.
I'm not much
Is
of a
that
whiskey
Smoke
person,
Wagon?
so
It is Smoke Wagon, sir.
Excellent.
This is the younger.
Excellent.
I almost brought a bottle of wine. I'm more of a wine person.
We can plug area businesses though, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Like El Wine Chateau.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Perfect place.
Oh,
Keller.
Over in
I've
Keller.
never had it.
It's
Really good wine.
Not a
selection.
wine guy person. Like, it's not that I don't like wine. I just never taken the time to understand it. Like
Yeah.
I have with whiskey and tequilas and stuff like that.
as long as it's fermented, it's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
But if I am going to, you can move that wherever you want. This obviously is this is soundproofing, believe it or not. This is what it's for.
Yeah.
I was getting a lot of echo off of the wood there. So, there we go. We already got our first comment. By the way, it's all live. So if you guys put comments on here and whatnot, we can see it. We will try to respond. Ruben Silva, what's up, buddy? Giving out a shout out to NTX PD Cycling. What's
oh yeah.
North Texas? Is that what that?
North Texas.
North Texas. Okay. I was like, what's the X for? But that makes sense. Yeah. All right. Cheers, guys.
Yep.
Salud.
Yeah, cheers.
My table's a little too big. That's the problem. I got it off the side of the road.
It's the best price
yeah.
ever.
And my dad refinished it and
Oh.
made it nice again. So,
He made me a really nice dog kennel.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. He made us one too, but my dog,
Ate through it.
yeah, he saw he was too big. Yeah. Like his back was against the top and he was like, what the fuck? Sorry, buddy. All right. So this podcast, if you haven't watched it or understand the format, the way I break this down is we humanize, then we educate, and then we talk about perspective. That's pretty much the formula to this show. So that's how we'll do it. I like your guys' hats though.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
I need to give a shout out because they're wearing Impact Tactical hats.
Yes.
And guess who's an official sponsor to the podcast?
And also a sponsor for the North Texas cycling
Yes.
team as well.
So if you guys are looking for, I like this, I'm like turning to the camera. If you guys are looking for a company that you can get behind because you morally and ethically are aligned with them, Impact is one of those companies. That's a matter of fact, that's the only people I allow to be sponsors for my show, is people I morally and ethically align with. One of my other sponsors is Insight LPR. Again, another homegrown company right here out of Texas. And same difference with those guys. But Impact basically got a hold of me and I got, said, hey, this is what I got. And they said, yeah, don't worry about the return of investment we just want to support what you're doing.
They've been supportive. I mean, for the past, I don't know, 6 years or so with the whole, PD cycling and everything like that. It's been great.
Even with where we were bike cops, they were always a part of that as well. And so they're supporting your guys' hobby team. I don't know what else to call it. They're supporting a local government PD as far as their bike cops go, and they're supporting this message, I guess. So shout out to Impact. They're definitely worth the look if you're looking for tactical gear, what else, police equipment, first responders, got it all. All of it. So that's where I get all for the last 11, 12 years, that's where I've gotten my tack pants, all that stuff. Every once in a while I'll jump on 511's website because they have a really good sale, but no, still try to go through Impact. So
and they'll be honest with you and say, hey, 511 might have this cheaper.
Yeah.
Without them getting started with getting the ball rolling,
yeah,
we wouldn't be where we are.
Yeah, they so this piece of equipment here, they bought me that. Mine broke. I lost an entire episode, and I'm freaking out. And I'm like, I've never had a sponsor before. Is this something that I reach out to them for? So I called them. I was like, hey, this is what happened. I can put this on my credit card, no problem. I was like, but I don't know how a sponsor fully works yet. I'm learning as I go.
All right.
Is there any you guys want it? And they're like, yeah. Say no more. I was like,
nice.
awesome. Yes, that's awesome. So yeah, big shout out to Impact. And I'm glad you guys are repping. So all right, let's get into it. Marcus.
Yes.
All right. Where are you from, buddy? What you got any cops in the family? What got you in this line of work?
No cops in the family. I'm a military brat, so I don't know if I'm from anywhere, I guess. My dad, I guess we all started out here in San Antonio. And then my dad was in the military. Of course, we went everywhere. Finished high school. Did my longest stint, I guess, was 12 years or so in Anchorage, Alaska. And then I got out of the military and moved back down to Texas.
Okay. So, now, military brat, the reason I asked, there's a common theme that I've found doing this podcast, not just on like the police side, but military, firefighters, prosecutors. There's always some sort of person or thing, almost always, that there's a life of service, somebody that was a mentor or somebody that they looked at, they revered, that kind of guided that path. For me, the correlation I saw was family reunions. My dad was a cop, but that's not why I became a cop. A lot of people will automatically assume that is not why I became a cop. It was a factor, but not the factor. The main factor was family reunions. When everybody's, drinking, sitting there having a good time and all that, who are they around? Who does everybody have the respect for? The nurse in the family, the firefighter in the family, the teacher, the military member, the cop, that's who everybody, when something bad's happening in the family.
Who do they go to?
They go to that person.
I've gotten many, many phone calls before, just for that.
Or what do I do in this situation?
Yes. So for me, that was what I wanted growing up. And not so much for the attention seeking stuff. It was just, that's why I liked them. And I was like, well, maybe I can, it's a service mindset. Again, maybe I can help my family out that same way. And maybe it is, I think you always have to have some sort of a personal appeal to it. There's got to be some satisfaction. It can't just be purely for other people. And anybody that tells you, I only do it to help, bullshit. Yeah. You do it because you like the feeling you get from helping.
Yeah,
that's definitely the reward system in it. So, there's no reason to be ashamed of talking about or admitting that. So, with you had military in the family. Was it dad or mom?
My dad was in the military. Okay. He did his 16, 20 years, whatever he did, and then
Air Force.
Hell yeah.
Fly high, baby.
And of course, that's why I went to the Air Force.
Right. So. What was his job?
I couldn't even tell you. I don't remember. It's been so long now. And then he had got out, when I was in high school.
Unless he was a pilot. He didn't do anything impressive.
He looked at the radar scopes and
okay.
He wasn't in the tower or anything, but he looked at radar scopes, talked to planes as they're doing their missions.
He was still more Air Force than you and I were.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
The best thing that we hoped for as security forces was guarding the plane.
Yeah, and I did a lot of that.
Yeah.
Those things don't move over 12 hours.
No.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like
And you're
Yeah,
not
I
even
had-
allowed yourself to go close to them.
No.
There's this
There's
fancy.
like a line.
It's red.
Yeah. You're guarding that line, but you can't cross it either.
Yes,
So
you're not allowed to cross it. The only people that can are mechanics when approved and pilots. So, and God forbid you get between a pilot and his plane.
exactly.
Yeah. So, fun stuff. For those wondering what we're drinking today, it's Smoke Wagon the Younger, which is my favorite. Shout out Smoke Wagon. If you see this podcast, we're looking for sponsors because I spend a lot of money with them. It's good stuff.
I like Blue Note.
Blue
as
Note.
well.
Oh, that Eric Stahura got me into Blue Note.
Same
Yeah, he's like, dude, try this. It is
for the price point.
Yeah. And you don't drink whiskey that often.
No,
do you?
I don't.
How is it?
It's good.
You
It's
okay
not
with
bad.
it?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you're to pick a wine, what's your wine? Mine's Pinot
Oh.
Noir.
No, I'm more of a Cabernet.
Mm.
You know, if my go-to is going to be a Cab.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's how I know he's a wine guy. He says cab.
Yeah, it's a little heavier than a Pinot.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
I like dry,
I say-
red dry. Yeah.
I just I've had several wines over the years. Just somebody said, "Hey, try this." That's my extent of wine experience. And the one that I immediately was like, "Oh, that's good," was a Pinot. So that's why I think I know I like Pinot. Let's see. Hey, Fred, I need a buckle display for about $20 that I won through the years. Diggs BTW7. What's up, G?
Sure, you can get it for you.
Yeah. Check the audio. It keeps cutting out. Oh, that sucks. Dad, your audio keeps glitching. A lot. Just letting you know. Shit.
Well,
Let's figure out what the technical issue is before we get going farther.
which
Yeah.
I'm just talking like Wayne when he ordered the food in Wayne's World, where he's. We need to stop doing that, I guess.
Yeah. The good thing is, for redundancy, I'm recording the audio and I'm also recording the video.
Oh.
So if this doesn't work out, I have a backup plan to post it later. So we will hear our audio. As far as the glitching goes, I don't know what else to do because I am doing everything that I can think of. I'm looking. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me, like, how often is it glitching? Is it glitching like?
He's still on 3G. That's probably why.
Yeah, is it
Yeah,
glitching
what's your,
because of your connection? Is it glitching because of us?
Do you have fiber?
Yeah, I have
Okay.
fiber. So this is not wireless. This is all fiber.
I eat a lot of fiber every day.
Ruben says
Good
it's
for
not
you.
bad. Just keep going.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that.
Every 5 minutes or so.
Shout out to Ruben for putting the bike on layaway today.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Good.
What did he get? You going all carbon fiber?
I think it's a Topstone carbon
Okay.
Cannondale gravel bike.
Oh,
Gravel. Everybody's into gravel these days. It's.
yeah.
I mean, I had my gravel, but
I was gonna say,
burned out.
were you driving a Crux?
I was on the Crux this last weekend, and
Okay.
it was good. Of course,
Okay.
I blew myself up and finished mid pack, but
Was that terrible pedestal that you were on?
yes, that was the terrible pedestal.
I wish I had the picture to pull up. Sorry, I digress. Okay, so family in the military. Was that what drew you towards? Because you went in the military yourself.
I did.
Air
Yeah.
Force.
So he got out, and then we'll put it. My family moved back down to Texas. Right in my senior year, I was pretty much on my own at that point. I moved out. Family moved back down to San Antonio, and I stayed up in Alaska. And I joined the military from there. So I did my 4.5 years. I was stop loss for 6 months. And then when I went into the military, I really don't know the reason why I wanted to be a cop, but I went, to the recruiter's office, this and that, and I go, I want to be a cop.
They
You know?
laugh.
I don't remember. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, but before that, I was in the Marine recruiters and I was talking to them. And then of course, I wised up and left. But, when I went to the Air Force recruiter, I told him I wanted to be a cop. And then, so he pulls up, all the stuff and shows me this little security forces video. Of course, all the cool stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah. So,
Coming up out of the water like a
yeah,
seal.
definitely.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I went to security forces. And then from there, of course, it progressed to the civilian side. But the one reason why I wanted to be a cop, because you look cool, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to drive a police car with red and blue lights on it,
That makes sense. Yeah. All right. You guys are gonna hear my computer, by the way,
that's fine.
if you get used to that. So you do your time. What was your service years?
I did, 98 to 02.
Oh shit! So you were there after 9/11.
9/11. Yeah. So we had we had regular deployments over to Saudi Arabia, to Prince Sultan Air Base. Every 6 months people were going. And so it was my turn to go, right? So we flew down, we were going to fly out of Baltimore to head over to Saudi. So we pull into the airport, Baltimore airport, and my team leader, he's like, "Oh, there's a plane that just hit the World Trade Center." I was like, "Oh, cool. Okay." We're all thinking it's some little plane or whatever. So we get into the airport and of course all the TVs are on, right? And then so we look and they're like, "Oh, that wasn't a little plane." So we're in Baltimore airport when this happens. And then me and a buddy of mine, I wish I could get a hold of him, these days. I thought I'd saw him recently, like a couple of years ago in Fredericksburg, but his name's Kelly. And his last name was Kelly. I don't remember his first name, but he was a cool guy. Anyway, so me and him go get coffee. And then we see on the TV that the Pentagon had been hit. So we're like, "Hey, that's like down the road, bro." Totally different. It wasn't our regular deployment. But yeah, that was interesting. So
Okay. During that, did you get stop lost?
yes, I
Okay.
spent 6 months.
That was the extra 6 months.
That was the extra.
Okay. I heard a lot of people got stop lost during that time. So, that's interesting, and it ages you.
Well, it gave me, because I made E5, so it gave me an extra 6 months at
okay.
E5. I made E5 like right before I was supposed to get out, and
I don't like Ward. He keeps telling me that the audio is messed up.
now
it's back.
So I did.
What the fuck?
I did the 6 months as a staff sergeant. So
Okay. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about the audio. So, maybe it's just YouTube. I don't know. Maybe it's Facebook. We'll see. Okay. So I'm basically just trying to understand and get a sense of why you do what you do, how you got into this and
Yeah.
stuff. So you do the military and then you're getting out, and are you like, I should be a cop because it's a natural fit?
Well, yeah. So I wanted to be a cop. I mean, I did the security forces, and throughout the whole thing, I was like, I want to be a cop. I want to do the real stuff. Towards the later end of my 4 years or so, because when I went in, it was still separated law enforcement and security.
Right.
So I went in law enforcement instead of the security side, and then we all blended. And of course, I watched planes that didn't move. But after I got out, I was like, I want to do this. I want to do the cop stuff. And so I got out, and of course, I started throwing applications everywhere. And I worked at Walmart for 6 months, and then and I worked for animal control for a year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was a dog catcher. I was the best dog catcher ever. And then
Love it.
yeah,
Did you use a bike?
I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't know bikes before then. I didn't know bikes before Joey.
That's right.
And then Joey Spragan's hell of a guy. But yeah, and then where was I? Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so I started throwing out applications everywhere up there in Alaska, and then my mom calls me. She's like, "Why don't you just come to Texas?" Like, okay. So of course there's more departments down here. So I did all Texas, and then I threw the one out that caught me, and so I've been here, and 19 years later. So
Okay.
yeah.
And in that time, what have you done in police work? Like, what have you done? Patrol? Give me examples.
Police work I've done. It's most of it has been patrol, and then the bike unit, bike patrol, and now I have an admin spot, which is it's cush. I love it.
Cush spot. Okay.
But yeah, but most of it was the first half was patrol. I worked the evenings, midnights, day shift, and then I went to the bike team for that was about 7 years or so, I think.
Okay.
And then now, now I sit at a desk. So
Nice. All right. LT.
Yeah.
How about you, sir? Where you from? What's your background?
Well, I was born in Toledo, close to
Michigan.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a Michigan fan.
Oh,
My girlfriend can't stand it. She's an Ohio State fan. She was born in Columbus, which is kind of funny.
yeah.
But no, when I was real young, my mom moved down here, part of the U-Haul Army. No jobs up in the Midwest. So we moved down here. I grew up in Joshua and Arlington. I went to Martin. Right
Oh,
around
okay.
here.
So you're right around here. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of always fun driving
Nice.
through and like, oh,
I
that's
remember.
still the same. That's still the same. Graduated high school and began working actually for Granger Industrial Supply. And one of the guys there, I was going to college for engineering, and I was like, this isn't for me. I don't want to sit at a desk all day. And one of the guys there was an officer for Everman, I think. And he's like, hey, this security company is hiring, and look at the pay. And I was like, that's pretty cool. So I ended up working for City Center Security in Fort Worth.
You're one of those
Oh.
guys.
Yeah. And so that's kind of
Okay.
and part of that is you get bike certified.
Yeah.
Right. They put you through LIBA at the time.
Yeah. Explain
So,
what LIBA is for those.
That's the Law Enforcement Bike Association. There's two. There's IPIMBA and LIBA. Those are the two main police bike organizations.
Okay.
So I got the LIBA certification and did that for a while, and then said, I want to do the real thing, and put in a couple applications, and now I'm also 19 and a half years in.
Okay. And in your 19 and a half years, education, any military background?
No military background.
Okay.
That's why he was late.
Yeah, it is why he's late. Yeah. We were both sitting here. I'm like, bro, this is unsat.
Well, my daughter's in the Air Force, so
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Well, the
You're
Air Force
excused.
Academy. So
You're excused,
officer.
sir. You are
Yeah.
excused.
Am I supposed to stand up,
Yeah.
salute?
Yeah, I vicariously carry her rank.
That
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people that think they do. So, especially military spouses.
Yeah. Well, my daughter's going to be a lieutenant. So, in my time, I was mostly patrol. I was a field training officer. I went to school resource as an officer there. Then worked in robbery as a detective and property crimes.
Hell yeah.
And
That's where I'm at.
and then sergeant in the field in patrol. Then back to schools as a sergeant, and now lieutenant of the bike unit.
Nice. Okay. I see the progression. I see where you like to be.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely a community oriented style of police work. Okay. The education portion of this. Okay. There's going to be a lot of people out there that other cops never been a bike officer. They don't have bike units at their department. So, they'll have an understanding, but maybe not an understanding. But then for our community side, they have no clue. All they think of, maybe for some, is what we see on TV, which is always pretty funny when you think of bike cops. When you arrest them, what do you do? Put them in your basket?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
My favorite TV bike scene is when they pull the prank on Lieutenant Daigle in Reno 911, and they put the frame around the light pole, and he's looking up like, how did they?
Yeah.
How the hell did that happen?
Great.
That was greatness.
So there's a process from becoming a bike cop at most places. Now, smaller departments, like one of the agencies I came from, any cop could be bike certified and do bike work in patrol. So you just connect a bike to your car or whatever it is. And you go. And then other ones, it's a kind of a specialized unit, and that's exactly what you do 24/7 is you're a bike cop. So there's a certification process and there's a bunch of stuff that you go through. So can you guys explain what you go through, what it takes to become a bike cop at a major city department?
I'll take this one. So, of course, yeah, with the bigger departments, you're going to have the more specialized units, things like that. Smaller departments, you're going to see if, that officer on that beat's going to have his bike and they'll patrol on the bike when they can. Looking at the bigger departments with these specialized units, you have to apply, you have to have an interest in being on a bike for one. And then the whole type of policing is so much different than being in a car. Um, you have to have I say you have to have some sort of personality to talk to these people on a bike. I mean, because you're up and close to the people. You're always talking to people while you're out there on patrol.
And a lot
Um,
of times you're the first impression a lot of people have coming to a city.
it,
If they come to a downtown area,
yeah.
the first person they're going to see in uniform is a bike officer.
Yeah.
So you have to have that want to engage the people, that want to talk to people, and then of course you got to like riding bikes, of course.
Right.
So then you put your application in and you do the physical test. They have a little entry test that you have to do just to make sure you're have some sort of fitness. Because you got to use your bike to get around, right? You
Yeah.
got to pedal. So, and then you sit you through your interview. They accept you, and then you go on from there, and you get certified and things like that.
So what's the certification process like? Because there's two major certs that I know of, LIBA and IPIMBA, which we talked about, LIBA, and then IPIMBA is
International Police
Yeah.
International Police Mountain Bike
Association.
Association.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm actually an instructor. I'm sorry, I apologize.
I used to be.
Um,
I just don't remember.
Yeah, I've been an IPIMBA instructor for a couple of years now.
Okay.
For I don't know, 5 years now or so.
They're pretty similar
Yeah.
in their qualifications.
The LIBA and IPIMBA are just two national or international organizations where they so every department thing are doing the same thing. So that's basically what those associations are for. And you get certified and it's a week-long process. They go through different skills on the bike, defensive tactics on the bike, mounting, dismounting, going on long rides and things like that.
So while they're going through that, what's the type of mileage somebody can expect to put on the bike? What is the type of hours they're putting on the bike in a day?
Well, like during the process, during the week-long process, I mean, you're working 8 to 10-hour days. I mean, it's your normal work day. Now, you're not riding the entire time of the class. I mean, there's scheduled classroom time, there's demonstrations. Maybe you're putting, I don't know, 25, 30 miles during the day on the bike riding.
Okay.
So
Per day?
per day, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot of low speed maneuvers.
Right.
Yeah.
Track stands, small turns, stairs.
Yeah, you're not riding at 185 heart rate beat per minute, for a week. So
yeah, it's I have found in my bike experience, I did 3 years bikes. Actually, no, I did
I thought it was longer
technically
than that.
5 years
Yeah, it
because I
was-
did it at my old department too. So it's most of our accidents happen when we're not moving.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We're literally just sitting still and we fall.
Yeah.
So that is what I have found. Now you said you get to do control tactics and all that stuff with the bike. Like, what are some things if I'm a guy that's thinking about like maybe becoming a cop and I have an interest in bike ride? Like maybe I'm a cyclist and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't think I could go be a cop and do my passion. You really can. There's a lot out there.
Yeah.
So like, what are some of the options and stuff that you guys have seen that maybe the typical person who's into bikes would never have considered for police work?
Options from positions to hold, or
Like things that they didn't think they would be able to do. I'll give one example and you guys kind of jump off of it. Going to Colorado and becoming a certified bike mechanic.
oh yeah,
I never got to go to that. I wanted to,
Oh no.
Yeah,
But I
that's
didn't.
definitely a advantageous.
not
right?
for the mechanics side, but
Right.
Just the riding
Colorado
experience.
side.
Yeah. So like for me, for one of the experiences that I saw was you get to go to Colorado, you get trained by the best on how to basically disassemble, put together just the ins and outs of a bike, like stuff you never thought of. And then on top of that, you go on rides and learn and get to ride in the mountains, which for cyclists, that's the creme de la creme.
We usually, we took off last year, but I mean, we go to Colorado every year, every summer, and ride and race and stuff.
Leadville, right?
Leadville. Yeah, I've done Leadville 4 times. So.
Yeah. Literally guide your career towards cycling and get paid for it way more than you ever would have.
You can get paid for riding. You can be a pro cyclist, get paid.
Exactly.
Yep. Used to do it all the time. I was in. We have the city I'm in. We have 70 some odd miles of river, and they have trails along it.
Yeah.
And we used to go patrol. We'd spend 3-4 hours out on the trail.
Yeah.
Just riding up and down, and we're patrolling. I mean, we're in full gear and everything.
Yeah.
So
And you're interacting with people.
Yes.
Everybody's saying hi.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's happy to see you on the trail.
Yeah. Now you're
one big safety tip though about that, and this used to drive me nuts when I was I was also a bike sergeant on another side of town, not just the downtown area.
okay.
And we had the trail, and you see like women running on the trail late at night. It's like the trail closes at 10. You don't need to be out here, this late.
Yeah.
Go run at the gym, do whatever, because it is vast miles of open
Nothingness.
area.
Yeah.
That would just be personal safety tip. But yeah, I mean, so I think the difference between a cyclist and a bike officer is you may not get the cardio aspect that you would unless you challenge yourself on the trail or do like a parking garage challenge.
Oh yeah.
Many of those.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of stop and go, right?
Yep.
Great way to practice track stands and that kind of skill and starting from stopping and unclipping, but maybe not.
But
or the lack of unclipping.
Yeah.
But if your passion is cycling, you are on a bike.
Yeah.
That's your mode of transportation. So
what was fun for me was getting Ward, who's an NPO, by the way. What was fun for me in getting good at let me go back. Being good at cycling for a cop was being able to ride on the trail, and you see these cyclists riding on their carbon fiber bikes, and you're keeping pace with them on a mountain bike in full gear. And it just blows their mind.
A mountain bike with a bag and a rack full of crap, your vest,
your gear,
your belt, everything.
Yes. You're 60 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And in a sport that is based on weight. Yeah, everything's based on weight.
All about weight.
Which brings up an important thing. So for other officers out there, does the TRWD patrol trails, Tarrant Region Water District?
When I was working on the bike team, we were trying to develop a relationship with TRWD. We'd call them and talk to them a bunch of times. They patrol. Not all of the river trails is their property,
right?
So only their property they'll go on, and they're in their vehicle, so they're not on bikes.
Up until recently, they just purchased bikes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they purchased 5.
Okay.
I believe.
They just don't have that many officers.
Yeah. It's small.
So the water department themselves has their own set of Texas state certified peace officers.
They're peace officers. Okay. They do everything. They're on the bike, boat, ATV. They do all their own cases, everything. Yeah.
Nice. So one of the things that I wanted to kind of point out in my experiences, we're talking about keeping up with these badass bikes, right? To the department, which this is a long haul.
I wish we got more.
Yeah.
We would have got more.
Yeah. When you look at this bike, if you're a person that's like, I don't understand the difference. Like, it's not a mountain bike. It looks like a 10-speed, like your old, Ram horn style That is not a typical style of bike for a cop. And we were trying to show that you don't need just a mountain bike. There are different types of bikes that will work, especially in a city environment, because we're not really going over any major hurdles. We're going over curbs,
Yeah,
and maybe some sort of a car stop, the old, cement car blocks and stuff like that. That's about it. Volcanic bikes are heavy, but good for training. Yeah, volcanic. That's a standard for me when it comes to police patrol bikes.
Yeah, those are good bikes. They're stout.
But your dual lug steel.
Yeah.
That can carry just as much and handle all the same abuse to an experienced rider.
Yep.
And I loved it. That was one of my favorite bikes to ride.
It was perfect for the trails. I wish we would have gotten more, and we tried, but it just never.
Isn't it still in service somewhere?
It is.
Yeah.
Is it? Somebody still got it
on West?
Yeah.
Oh, they got it over on West now.
Joey.
Oh, Joey's using it. That
makes
sense.
Yeah,
of course. The brick saddle is now making its way back into the bike unit.
Nice.
2 Brook saddles.
Okay. If you're not familiar with the Brook saddle, guys, it's a leather saddle from England, I believe. And Brook saddles are so nice. That's what I rode on the Surly. It was a Brook saddle.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. And
Joey brought those in.
Yeah, he's the one that taught me about the Brook saddle. So the point I was trying to make for those out there, if you have a standardized police patrol bike and all that stuff, it's a mountain bike, cool. Test some new stuff out, depending on your terrain, obviously. If you're off-road and all that.
So he had a comment about the e-bikes. The only thing about the e-bikes is the cost.
Yeah,
currently.
They are expensive.
It's so hard to in our agency, in the 30 years that there's been a bike unit, one of the main things I'm trying to change. There's never been a city budget for bikes, which is
blows my mind.
Essentially our vehicles, right?
Which goes to show you the city support, and this is a community thing, guys.
Yeah. Oh, the city loves it.
The city support that you get when you have a supported police department for a bike unit, 30 years. And it's been supported by outside sources.
Yep.
Because they're doing their job. So that goes into the community thing. Cam Cargill.
Same.
Now has an e-bike. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So
our support agency just signed off on a 6-bike purchase, which since COVID, the price of bikes has just skyrocketed.
Oh, has it?
What used to be a $1,680 Volcanic is now $2,489.
Woo!
Before shipping. Now the nice thing about Volcanic is they outfit from head to toe, right?
Right.
They put the racks on, the lights, everything comes complete. We don't have to do any extra purchasing. But it is an expense, right? I mean, you're talking 6 bikes, $16,000.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just the costs run really fast, and we're very thankful for the public support.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah. And that's one of the beauties of having a bike unit, in my opinion, is there's very rare to have a better bridge for community relations, because a bike cop is naturally, like I said, we were making the jokes earlier. Well, that's one of the things that, although it is the butt of a joke, it is also one of the more approachable police officers out there.
Because you know what? Because I can say 99% of everybody that's been in the bike unit has a crazy sense of humor, and it's always been that way.
Yeah.
It's
Yep. And I'm a big fan of the blue uniform, the royal blue. I liked it. And one of the reasons why was because I saw the difference in going from traditional dark blue uniform to going to that light blue. Even though I was already more approachable, I saw that through my own experience. I would say I was tenfold more approachable wearing that blue uniform, that light blue. So it definitely makes a difference in the colors you wear, and what you're doing. You have no choice. You can't hide behind anything on a bike. You can't.
Yeah.
And that goes to that old school, one of the biggest killers to the law enforcement was the patrol car, because now you're behind the wheel of a car versus being on foot. And in our case, being down here, being on horseback or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, the horse unit, they also have very good community relations. Everybody loves them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the same thing can be said for bikes. Even when they have to put the hammer down and do rolling fences and do crowd control and stuff like that, people don't really mess with them a whole lot on the negative side of things.
Well, and you just think as a cyclist, you want to be as visible as you can, right? So
Mhm.
being in a dark uniform is not advantageous.
No, not at all.
So, and to go with that public order and fences, we're that first line where we're not a hard line, not
Right.
a hard line. We're an initial line that can move,
Yeah.
if needed.
Yep.
So,
And that goes more into, we'll talk to citizens, and smaller agencies that may not have seen the writing on the wall, but Seattle was the catalyst, in my opinion, when it came to
I agree.
looking at how to do crowd control on a bike. It used to be old school, hats and bats, with a bunch of guys with riot shields and stuff walking the line and slowly trying to take over a street. Well, then Seattle had all of their stuff going on, and somebody came up with the bright idea that's like, we could probably do this faster on a bike. And they started using the bike as a fence. It became a force multiplier.
It is a great tool.
Yeah.
A great tool.
And they were clearing streets in minutes versus hours because they were able to throw some smoke grenades. So that is an option when it comes to any sort of crowd control.
Especially with today's, climate of First Amendment, type deals and
Mhm.
protests and things like that. I mean, it's becoming almost a necessity for cities sometimes.
Yeah. I think if your agency is not allowing your bike unit, and I don't even know that where we're at, if our bike unit's allowed to do this yet, but it should be allowed that you have designated grenadiers to handle that side. Because if shit hits the fan, you are that, like you said, we're the middle ground as bike cops. That's the middle ground before the hats and bats and the SWAT teams and all of that stuff come out. So if you're going to be that middle ground and time and distance your friend, bike cops need to be certified in throwing smoke and keeping the line back before things start to get out of hand. So the more tactical guys can get up to the line and start protecting people and property. So, what is your thoughts as a lieutenant? What are your thoughts on a bike cop being able to throw smoke?
oh, I think it's advantageous. It's not currently in the operating procedure,
Okay.
but it's something we've kicked around.
Okay.
It's been kicked around a long time.
Has
yeah.
it?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I think
We
it's
have,
I think it's crucial.
We just got outfitted with portable fire extinguishers, things like that. So as
Oh,
we
nice.
move, yeah. So
Nice.
that's kind of a change. There's been a lot of good changes. It just takes time in a large
Yeah.
agency.
I recently had a guest on. His thing is AEDs, the portable thing to shock your heart back into place and whatnot. He literally died, got brought back by one, but he told me one of the things coming down the line is a portable AED that fits in your pocket.
Wow.
I've actually seen it on. I mean, not personally, but I've seen
Yeah.
it online and things like
So
that.
if we can, and like he says, it can connect to your dispatch. It can connect to like
Mhm.
all, like if somebody's having a heart issue, dispatch will find the nearest one through an app on the actual object or on your phone, whatever it is. But I just see that being a huge thing. You talk about portable fire extinguishers. Biking is so versatile.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, we'll talk about the potential of the bike unit. We got people asking questions.
Yeah.
Oh, Richard Gilliam. In your experience, what is the biggest advantages and disadvantages of being a bike officer?
The biggest advantage, I mean, you're up close to the people. I mean, you're humanizing a police officer. I mean, you're
Yeah.
talking with them. You're up and close. They're seeing that you're a person. You talk
Mhm.
with them, and it's easy to engage people.
Mhm.
It's I don't know any other way to explain it. I mean, you're up and close. You're approachable.
Yeah. What do
So
you got?
yeah.
In a confined area or a defined area, it's a lot of ways quicker to respond.
That's what I was going to say.
Right.
Yep.
It's just you're not having to fight lights and left hand turns and
Yes.
things like that. There's a way to get around.
Yep.
We're quickly deployable as well.
Yep.
You can get 8 officers moving on a bike pretty fast. So
especially in urban environment. Yeah.
So one of the things that I wanted it to happen, I just didn't have the stroke for one, and I don't think the idea was fully realized at the time. But now that I've had time, experience, all that stuff to think about it, and I'm not in the bike unit anymore. But one of the things I was trying to do was have a mobile bike unit that saturates hotspots
So
because we're faster. I did a detail personally. I did a detail with a guy who is now, I think, a lieutenant or captain, Fleming. And there was a lot of car burglaries and stolen vehicles happening in a neighborhood. And like you said, it was confined. It was for us that know the areas, it was the hospital district. So you got all these, very grid orient. It's a grid.
with tiny streets.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could get everywhere faster than a patrol car, everywhere. And that was tested time and time again. But the other thing was no one hears you. We got silent hubs so we can sneak up on things in action that are actually occurring in real time. Two, when you do that, when you saturate areas that people are not accustomed to seeing bike cops, they never see you coming.
They're always looking for the car.
They're looking for the car. They're not looking for a bike cop. I had a guy literally try to deal drugs to me. I rolled up on him. I saw him dealing dope. I rolled up on him. He never looked up from his phone. All he saw was a bike tire because that's how he was looking down.
He's telling me he was charging too much.
And and he tried. He's like, "What can I do you for, man?" I was like, "I'll do a dime." And he's like, "I got you." And he's just reaching in his pocket and snag him up. It's hilarious. And he looks up. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Well,
So
whammy.
they never see it coming. I caught a 60. I caught a stolen vehicle on a bike.
Oh, I had
a car chase on a bike.
Yeah.
Well, multiple car chases.
Now there's a danger to it, but my point being, you take that, let's say a 4 to 6 man bike unit, and their whole job, you have one car, maybe 2 patrol cars to back them up, but they saturate an area that is usually property crimes ridden.
We have the infrastructure for that.
Yeah,
it's just everything. There's now another division wants to start up another bike unit.
Hell yeah!
I was like, why are all these separate? Why is everybody separate?
Yeah.
Why don't you have one centralized team that handles?
Yeah.
But no, it's coming out of different budgets and different.
Yep.
And everybody has different equipment and.
Yeah, you have a centralized team.
I don't understand.
You sit there at roll call. Lieutenant goes, "Here's our problem areas. This is what we're doing. Sergeant, I need this done." Then during roll call, Sergeant's like, "All right, Mendoza, you other 3, you're going over here. I only need 2 to cover downtown. It's pretty dead today. And then the rest of y'all, this area is terrible.
That's the way it should be. I don't understand how or why it is the way it is right now, or how it's ever been.
I've mentioned that to command staff, and that's my vision as well, and that's exactly how I see it.
We talked about it a long time ago.
And it makes so much more sense, and we have the trailers and equipment to move the bikes quickly.
Add a couple detectives, so any cases they get, now they're working it within. And now you're a self-sufficient unit, and you're not burdening the rest of the detectives with what you guys are producing. Holy shit!
The infrastructure is there. Everything you need. The only thing they need to do is erase the line.
Yes.
Just erase the line.
Change the boundaries. And,
that's it.
And do it as a entertainment district type
I'm with
response.
You. Yep. I agree. I think that'd be huge.
And the disadvantage is being exposed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're the weather, right? I remember this was funny. I remember the American Police Beat magazines we used to get? They used to sit on the as roll calls, right? And they always had the recruitment sections in the back.
Yeah.
And one of them, speaking of Alaska, was for Anchorage. And it showed a guy riding a bike
in the
like
snow,
8 inches of snow,
fat tire and everything.
Yeah, and it's like that's not really a motivator. Like
No.
I'm not wanting to go to Anchorage to ride a bike in the snow.
Yeah.
So rain. Obviously, you have to change your plans. Cold, heat.
Yep.
Especially with like the vests, they don't breathe, right?
Yeah.
So one of the big changes I made was once the heat advisory is above a certain amount, we really limit our time or use another way to get around just because it's not safe, right? That'd be the biggest disadvantage is just you are out in the elements.
Yeah.
Cover and concealment's a big one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you're wearing the alternate uniform. That's another thing. Trying to stop a vehicle on a traffic stop, Joey.
Yeah.
And basically getting pit maneuvered by the vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
bike officers have been hit by cars.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yep, coming out of parking garages, that's a big one. You know,
Mhm.
you're responding to a call down the sidewalk or the street, whatever it is you're doing. Somebody just flies out of a parking garage. I mean, is it their fault? Yes, but at the same time, it's like, how often is that going to happen? The bike just flies out of nowhere at certain times of day.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. So these are all, definitely factors. That's a disadvantage. But there is so much untapped potential of bikes that has not been seen. And I think some people, even internally, and this is a problem, would laugh at the idea.
I think it takes, honestly, I think it takes more of a cyclist mentality on top of, the police side of it to understand. Because a lot of people, it's a bike, or look at this dummy on this bicycle. If you have that cyclist mentality, and if you're in a position of rank, you see things different than someone else.
Yeah.
So you're going to recognize the advantages and things like that. So
Yeah.
I think that's a setback.
Okay, so you have a bike unit, you go through this training, it's typically a week long. Is there any continued training? Is there anything to look forward to? We talked about the mechanic school stuff. That would be cool. But like, what are some of the other things that a person that's trying to get into the bike unit can look forward to down the road?
one of the big things has been the transition to the public order aspect, right? Several times our agency has been called to help with large city conventions, national conventions,
Republican National
and
Convention, Democratic
Yeah.
National Convention.
That was fun.
Yep.
That was an experience.
It was an
I'll tell you that.
experience,
It was
yes.
fun.
So
I was a part of that.
And that's a unique opportunity that most officers never get to experience, right? Like, we're getting called in, and we got bikes because of that.
Yeah.
So helping out in that interagency.
I got that crappy Safari Land, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one.
It worked.
This thing weighs like as much as a tank, and it's a terrible bike. Safari Land, like, you have no business to be in the bike.
Yeah,
lane.
don't do
Stop.
it. Yeah, we appreciate it, but
I understand what you guys are trying to do. Leave it up to the experts.
But yeah, it was so that's one aspect, and you do continuing training on that, and then some guys, you get your IPIMBA certification, you can go to other agencies, teach them how to ride. I mean, there's avenues that way.
Yeah. Okay.
And now we're moving into where our officers are going into the schools and talking to fourth graders and giving them a presentation, bringing the bikes, showing them what it's about. So it's a whole another way of community outreach.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the cool things. Anytime you have an event, an NPO, neighborhood patrol officer, puts on some sort of neighborhood community event, when the bikes show up,
Curiosity comes.
Yep. Every time. And then what's even cooler is, you're like, why do these cops need to know how to be bike mechanics? One, you're saving the city money. They don't have to take their bikes somewhere to go get certified or serviced anymore.
Oh yeah,
You can do everything in house.
Right.
Two, you are able to be that cop that when you're riding around and you see someone genuinely with a bike issue,
you stop and pull out your tool,
stop
help
and
them.
you got it. And there is no better way to reach out to the community and have those good deposits, as they put it, and fixing someone's bike. I was never the mechanic guy, but I learned it, and I knew how to. I didn't want to be the guy, but if it push come to shove, I could run through the steps and help out a citizen or help out another officer when stuff happens, or especially help out myself. That's usually the biggest issue. Help out myself while we're going. So,
it's a great way to know how to, change out your bottom bracket or something like that, where you don't have to go into a bike shop and just let them, just like an auto. Oh, hey, your filter's bad.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Are they taking advantage of me?
And not that, I mean, most local bike shops are really great, and support your local bike shop.
Okay.
Definitely.
Any way you can. Those guys are working hard, fixing all of our.
That's where I'm going
mistakes.
after I retire. Bike shop.
Bike shop, yeah.
Definitely. Yep.
Pretty mellow.
Yeah.
Mellow Johnny. It's So with that, now we talked about the different types of bikes and stuff that you can do. The electric bike, that's the newest thing to really hit the scene. Let's talk about the pros and cons of an electric bike for a cop.
Response time.
Okay, response time cut way down because those things go like 20, 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, unassisted. Right?
Response time and fatigue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it cuts down on fatigue until that battery goes dead.
Well, yeah,
then it's more fatigue.
Then it's
right?
even more fatigue. Yeah.
So then that requires you to be on top of what your power management is, and then going back and putting the bike out of service to charge it. Just like a electric car, there's always something, right? Nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
The great thing about a bike is it's your own power. You're doing the work. I can see where EV bikes could be beneficial to someone who's maybe not in the greatest shape.
Yeah.
And assisting them again, or they have like a knee injury.
Yeah, that's a thing, with e-bikes with me. And this is probably coming off more of Joey too. It's rubbed off on me, which is you're making it easier for these officers to go out and so you're declining the fitness, right?
Yeah.
So we're officers and we go out and we meet bad guys, and sometimes bad guys don't want to do what we say. And so when it becomes, to that point where you have to use physical fitness to engage and affect the rest, when you're taken away from that.
Yeah. Now, price wise, what can people expect when they start looking at a regular patrol bike, kind of one bare bones, the middle class, and then the upper?
For police bikes or just bikes in general?
No, for police bikes.
Okay, so like I said, probably I think I have knowledge of another agency getting some entry level bikes, like a Giant.
Okay.
I think theirs were like 1,200. So like I said, ours are 2,500, completely equipped with Tram GX, pretty decent derailleur set, bike bags, lights, and rear tail lights, and then you're using rock shocks, air shock. So they're pretty well equipped. That would be mid grade, and then your EV would be higher, and you'd be looking at about 45 to 5,000.
Yeah.
Plus the battery is going to go dead
Yeah.
at some point, right? So then you got to get a new battery.
And I don't know the electronics on those. I mean, I can fix a bike, but as far as e-bike, I've never even.
Yeah. I'm sure it's a new market.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the hubs are different, because you have that internal gearing inside there. So
yeah,
I wouldn't even try to tear down an electronic hub, but just be like, here, send it back.
Okay. What's a typical patrol day like for a bike officer?
Well, go or
for us, I mean, basically, in the early mornings, you have a lot of transients, and they're sleeping on the sidewalks and everything else, and people come in, and the business owners come along, and they're like, "Hey, we want them out of here." So you just talk to them, make sure they have a place to go, during the day. Send them on their, refer them to their sources, kind of through like the Hope, unit and things like that. Give them tools so that they're not just out and about. And then you're dealing with all the downtown patrons coming to work and visiting, and there's always something going on at the convention centers, and like I said, people are always downtown, and they're from all over, so they're just making those inroads, and then visiting businesses, making sure they have what they need, taking a coffee break and sitting there being visible is a great way, just having a coffee, saying hi to everyone. People come up, look at the bike, ask questions, make jokes about,
Yeah, for sure.
So that's typical day. And then as the day goes on, you deal with the business district clearing out, and then you transition into your people coming in down, having dinner.
Yeah.
So
traffic accidents, things of that nature.
Traffic accidents, a lot of traffic accidents.
I've been out for a couple of years, but I mean, it was transient accidents, burglar alarms, things like that, and then 80% of it's community relations, really.
Yep. Drunks from the bar.
Well,
now that's changed a lot in our agency.
For where you're at,
for where we're at, that has tapered off significantly, and you typically deal with a more adult crowd now,
right?
So you have less of the
Yep.
college scene.
Yep. I will say, if you're going to be a bike cop, get rid of the mic that is sitting on your lapel.
Yeah.
Get it in ear and get a mic that you can talk into relatively close to your mouth.
It is a game changer.
It's a game changer, and trust me, your dispatcher will love you for it, because the other one's just gonna hear. What did he say?
Well, he keyed up, so he's good, right?
Yeah. Are you dying? Yeah, he's good.
Yep.
Yeah. That's bad. So please get it in ear, mic, in ear system, so you can hear what the hell's going on, and you can get out what's going on. It's definitely a safety thing. I'm trying to think of some of the other factors of bike patrol that we haven't hit on. We hit on weather, we hit on the training, we hit on kind of the specialty things when it comes to public order, citizen support. We talked about getting out there with the community. We talked about the future, which I think is having mobile units, combining and saturating hotspots, using ComStat to do that intelligence-based policing, and throw a different approach at bad guys that they had never considered. And I've seen it on a small scale. I've seen it work. So do we got people? 2 guns in 3 weeks from transit.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that is a new phenomenon.
Really?
I mean, I've talked to bike officers that have been in the unit for years, and they're like, we've never really seen that in such numbers, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, why are they carrying,
I spent 7 years in bikes, and I don't think I came, in contact with one transient with a weapon.
Yeah.
Or, a gun, I should say.
Yeah. However,
Yeah.
being in bikes in 17 years of law enforcement, the 3 shootings I've been involved in,
I've
were
been
all on bikes.
I was in a shooting on bikes too.
Now, I wasn't the shooter.
Exactly.
We weren't the shooters.
But I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
So when people, I get it. I say rent a cop, mall cop, whatever you want to say. But holy shit, we seem to be there for all the crazy stuff when you're talking a metropolitan area. It's crazy.
We've been in fights. We've been in fights, shootings, and you name it.
Yeah.
The sweaty naked guys.
The lack of exciting
naked sweaty guys is a bad one.
Oh yeah. I wasn't there for that one.
The gun from last week, the guy fired in the air.
Really?
Yeah. Just popped around. It was, and everybody started freaking out,
As they should.
Yeah. I mean, it's like,
as they should. And that guy was arrested without issue?
He was.
That's good.
Yeah.
So Richard Gilliam said, what tool would you like to have, or would you like to see made to help with being a bike officer? I'd like a train horn on my bike.
Yeah.
If I could somehow get a portable train horn without adding a bunch of weight.
This guy's got 3 air tanks in his bag.
Yeah. He's like, we'll just seize them from one of those big trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Could you imagine having that?
You remember that? That was a big thing on weekends downtown for forever.
Oh, the truck clubs coming through.
And then just scare everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy.
So if you have a downtown area and you get these car clubs that like to go through and hold up traffic stuff, it's just like trying to ambush a convoy for cops. Stop the lead, get the rear, and they can't go anywhere.
Just don't get in front of it.
Yeah. Shatterly, yes, an air horn. So for those looking at Shatterly's name on there, dude's been a cop for a long time.
He was in my academy class.
Highly experienced.
Sorry.
Knows his shit. And looks like he's winding down his career as well with bikes. So well, let's say he knows it. It's just he doesn't use it anymore. There's a difference. Right?
Sorry, Shatterly.
Yeah, we had to bust your balls, buddy.
We love you.
He's a smart man in this environment. It's a good place to wind down.
It is.
So,
I'm trying to think of a tool that would,
I'm trying to
benefit. It's. I would say your number one tool as being a bike officer is your attitude and the way you present yourself to people.
Yeah,
I mean that's the only thing I can think of. I mean,
it's hard not to smile while you're riding around on a bike, unless it's 110 out.
If you're officer friendly. Yeah. And you are just, your mouth is your greatest tool.
Yeah.
If you can learn how to talk to people.
Yeah. And it's like anything in police work. And this is a big thing I'm a proponent for, but it's hard to do.
Yeah.
I want the person that fits best for that position. If you're going to be a bike cop, I don't want you there for the schedule. I don't want you there because you think it's cush. I want you there because you're a people person, because you want to be out in the community, and because you like bikes.
Yes, you're enforcing laws and things like that. And that goes with any officer.
Right.
These people that you're talking to, they're humans.
Yeah.
Don't degrade them. Don't talk down to them.
Yeah.
I mean, they are a person just like you.
Yeah.
And that's the way I treat everybody when I'm out there. It's you're a person.
Right.
And yeah, you just robbed a store and you did this and that, and you're sitting there on the sidewalk in handcuffs.
It's just business.
But I'm talking with them.
Yeah.
I'm having a conversation with them.
To me, that's the way I've always separated. It's just business. Like I am not taking what you did personally. And sometimes it's hard to do. Yeah. Especially when it's like a child involved.
And I think that's
for me.
I think that's learned over the years.
It is, for sure.
I had a wise officer in the academy tell me you can take someone to jail or you can bring them there, right?
Yeah.
Like when you have to take action, because we do have to take action. You can make it hard or you can make it easy, and it's kind of your choice.
I've talked people into going to jail. I mean, as long as you talk with them and let them know that they are human and you made a mistake.
Yeah, I don't think I ever had a fight downtown as a bike cop that was like I started or it was either because they were fighting someone else or fighting another officer. It's never because of me.
I can tell you 100% I've never been the instigator on any of that.
It's the wordsmithing. It's the being able to talk to people and conceding your ego. That's the big one. I've had guys that are like, "What are you going to do? Why don't you take that gun and badge off?" I'm like, even if I take it off, you're still going to beat my ass.
Yeah.
I was like, that's embarrassing. That's a lot of paperwork.
I'm a small guy. I weigh 150 pounds.
Yeah. Well, you weren't when you started.
Well,
but
I lost a lot of weight. I used to be 189.
You want me to pull the picture up? I think I got
getting in shape on the bike.
Yeah. That's another benefit. We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
The fitness level.
The fitness level.
Yeah. Especially when you got a Salado downtown. You can just stay
exactly.
Eat clean. Get
just
your calories.
Not a lot of dressing.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I talking about verbal judo, verbal jiu-jitsu. There was a funny video I saw where an older guy goes into a MMA gym, and he's like, he's like, the best way to get out of the fight is not get in one in the first place. And he uses all these. He's like, "You looking at me?" He's like, yeah, that's a really nice shirt. Where'd you get it? It was perfect. Like that's kind of the deflection you can use in a lot of these situations. Where it's like, "You looking at my girl?" I was like, "Yeah, I noticed her sweater. I want to get my girlfriend one, just like it."
It's cardigan.
It's cashmere.
So there's all kinds of ways to deflect and
One of my favorite videos that I would put in as a academy instructor and stuff, just to create some levity and stuff. There's this guy that go around in the hood and he try to pick fights with people in the hood, and as soon as they were like game to fight, he'd strip all his clothes. He had like tearaway, and he's just in like a thong, and he's like, "All right, let's go." And they're like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "See, perfect de-escalation."
We were talking about that video the other day that came up in conversation.
Oh, really?
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
because nobody wants to be the guy that gets beat up by the guy in the thong,
right?
Right? Nobody wants to be that guy.
Yeah,
at least on video.
Yeah, and if verbal judo is an old term. And if for everybody that's like, cops need more de-escalation training, that is verbal judo. It's just a repackaged name.
Oh yeah,
that's it. And before it was verbal judo, I'm sure it was called something else. It's a skill set that cops have always been taught, always had. That's developed. Because the cops that are out there doing what they're supposed to do and doing the job the right way, we don't want to get in a fight. I don't want one. I don't want the paperwork. I will tell you, I am a lazy cop. I am trying to do as little work as I can.
You don't want to get hurt.
I don't want to get hurt because if I get hurt too bad, I'm out of a job. And I love doing this job. Mm-hmm. So there's just so many factors when we're talking about cops that are out there doing it the way they're supposed to do it. And I will fully concede there are cops out there that aren't doing it for the right reasons, and they slip through cracks and all of that stuff. And
it happens, and it goes with any career.
But that happens,
it does. Right? And as long as we're handling it appropriately, and each agency is different on how they handle it, I don't know that you can standardize something like that. I don't think you should, because every place has their own culture and way of handling things. What works in Michigan is not going to work down here, down south. What works in New York is not going to work in California, and all of that stuff. So Shotterly, I agree, but nowadays the instigate and push for that lawsuit. Yeah. And why is that? Because we've allowed that to work.
Yeah.
Become a standard.
Yeah. We've allowed that to work.
But,
and,
and that, I mean, it's just time changes. I mean, it's become a standard, but many other things have become standards too.
But
we gotta adapt.
I'm an optimist. Shotterly hates this about me. I'm a always look at the glass half full guy. What good has come from these guys going out and doing that? Officers are trained in First Amendment rights now.
Mm-hmm.
They realize I can't just be POP. Pissed
Coming
off
through
police.
the academy, I didn't learn First Amendment stuff until when we did the public order stuff.
Right.
When we started that.
Yeah.
The academy and all that going through, none of that.
And there's an expectation from the public. It's unrealistic, and they think that cops should know all the laws, and that's not even true.
Well,
it's no different than being a doctor
or your average lawyer.
Yeah, when you talk to lawyers, they specialize.
Criminal defense knowledge. It's not there, by and large.
Yeah.
So the same as for us. We didn't have a lot of First Amendment experience,
Mm-hmm.
and then it became once we started seeing these things pick up. And now we have them all the time. I mean, we have a First Amendment event almost every weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, something's going on.
But I like that citizens do that stuff. I know there's always a negative to it, but there's a positive that comes from this stuff. Michael Brown. That ended up being proven to be a lie. But look at the benefit that came from it. Body cam. I love having a body camera. I have a panic if my body camera's dead and I know I got to go out.
Yeah.
Like, shit, I forgot to charge.
People, body cam is going to catch you this. They're hunting and this and that. You know what? If you're an honest type guy, what do you worry about?
Yeah, as a cop,
it's going to save my ass 100%. And it has saved my ass,
I'll tell my supervisor right now, you're going to catch me swearing. You're going to catch me singing in the car. You're going to catch me saying, inappropriate comments to my coworkers.
Singing NSYNC.
If you catch it, I am fully giving you my blessing.
He's saying NSYNC on the way to Cleveland, by the way.
I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I sing all the time. So, and I don't sing good. I sing. So,
but yes, that is a great tool. I'll wear it every day.
Yeah. I love having body cam, but that's what I'm trying to get to. So yes, I understand that we do have people out there pressing our buttons, trying to get those lawsuits and do those things, but with good training, it ends up being I turn everything into my own entertainment. That's how I get along as a cop. As long as it becomes fun for me somehow, some way, I'm not going to have an issue.
Yeah.
And that's how I turn everything.
And you're a rational person.
I hope I'm a rational person. I try to be.
That's the thing. Like, rationality goes a long way.
Yeah.
You know, and not letting people rattle you.
Yeah. But that goes into confidence and training.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're confident in what you know, and you know what you can do, what you can't do.
Right.
You know how you physically can handle stuff, how you physically can't. I've been training jiu-jitsu for a long time. You know how many times I've actually got to test that out as a cop? Hardly ever. But it's the way I carry myself. It's the way that I interact with people. I don't know I'm doing it, but other people don't want to test that.
Right.
And I'm not a little guy.
I like how everyone notices. He points out Marcus. Just let the camera know that at
not a little guy.
17:30 hours.
I'm not like 155 pounds or lower,
and I'm overweight.
And
but his power output is insane.
Right? Yeah, that's the important part.
That's what we're all. That's what it's all about.
His bike could charge a light bulb for years,
or like a little. Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Like
Christmas lights.
The LEDs.
That's what we're talking about.
The ones that don't require a lot of energy. Yeah. But I digress.
I'm always saying that because I'm jealous. But
Yeah, for sure.
I've been doing it a while.
Yeah. I'm just happy like the last time I was on a bike, I was better than him. So
whoa.
Yeah.
So about that.
So now it's like
define better.
Just overall.
Was that MS 150?
Yeah.
Was that the last time you were on a road ride?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
We need to get you back on a bike.
Yep. He's got one too.
I do.
The BH.
Yeah, the BH.
Yeah.
I have a really nice bike. Yeah. I am planning on getting back into something. Maybe it could be cycling. Jiu-jitsu is going to be one of them.
Well,
because my daughter's doing one.
Health's Angels.
Health's Angels.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of their team leaders donated to us as well. Hello.
Before we get into, because we'll dive into Health Angels. Before we do that, let's finish
Okay.
the education portion.
Can we, after we finish the education portion, can we go into
Do you have to go potty?
the PP portion?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
You can go right now. So, and that's the beauty part about being live. We can do whatever we want. Shirley, I am glad for body cameras, protect citizens and officers. And I agree. I know we have problems with protests, and I agree that they are in need. It protected both parties, police and citizens. In the old days, you bust a grape and things change. And that's 25 years back, Marine Corps. Fucking jarhead.
The Marine Corps, they're conditioned to be the first to go in,
Right.
They're not too bright.
Exactly.
And they eat a lot of crayons. So they have a very colorful smile. So I'll give them that.
They're hard chargers. We like that.
We're not hating.
No,
we're not hating.
I when I was in high school, that's what I was going to do because it's the hardest.
I walked into the Marine recruiter.
Yeah. They got the best uniforms.
I had the pen in my hand.
Yeah. But then I was like, you know what? I got a partial college scholarship. Let's see how that works out.
Yeah. I saw where the Air Force guys were eating in the dining hall. I was like, oh.
Right. Oh, lobster bisque again.
Exactly.
No, take this away.
No soup for you.
Yeah, no soup for you. Next. Else on the education portion that we could be missing. I think we've hit it. I think we've torn it apart. We've hit the negative sides of things. Whether stuff like that, funding, fund your bike units, guys.
Yes.
Fund them.
It is a great tool.
Yeah.
And
if you cannot, there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. Get it? Bike side. Hit up police departments that have working bike units, whether they're internally funded or externally funded. They will help you get started. I guarantee it. I don't know any bike unit that wouldn't be willing to help.
We've had multiple agencies reach out to us.
Yeah. I would recommend some of the bike units I have worked around personally that have got great programs going. Dallas, Fort Worth, outside of Texas, Seattle,
Nashville,
Cleveland,
Nashville, great bike units. Get a hold of these people. They are more than willing to help you get going.
Grand Prairie.
Yeah. They got some good IPMBA instructors over there.
Trying to get pumped up to outride the LT. A little out of shape, but game on. Oh, I don't know. This LT stayed in shape pretty much his whole career.
The LT's on a racing team now.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so that's kind of a unique thing. I think I'm one of the first, committed cyclists in the chain in our bike unit. So
yeah,
things don't go over my head as easily.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, I know what's going on here.
Yeah.
This is what we need. This is where we need to go. So that is unique. That's nice. But yeah, I love riding.
Yeah, the team. It's a team builder too. When you go out and you one of our things. He mentioned hitting parking garages. Like that was a thing. We would where we worked. There was 5-6 parking garages, maybe more. And we would try to make it a goal that we went up and down every single one in a shift, or we would ride. We called it the Miracle Mile. Spraggins and I, we would ride our perimeter.
On your perimeter, I can't hold it anymore. I'm sorry. I got to get up.
Oh, okay. You're good.
Okay.
So we'd ride our perimeter. Give me 1 second, folks. He's going to the bathroom.
Yeah,
so
I got a small water.
my mother-in-law or somebody out there should tell you where to go, but it's to your left. It's the opposite way which you came in. We would ride the perimeter, and then we would hit all the parking garages. And then we would hit every north, south, and east, west road. So you basically rode the whole beat, and you try to do that in a shift.
Yeah, that's good work.
All of us Air Force do not understand you, Shadow.
Do understand.
Oh, they do understand. I'm sorry. Lisa Ramsey, sure. Send me an idea of what you're thinking.
That might be related to something else.
I was going to say, I'm not sure what that's referring to.
Yeah.
But I think that's Lisa telling me that that's who she is because it says replying Facebook user.
Okay.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, there's...
be more specific.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people, it shows up as Facebook user with the wind tunnel. Yeah, the wind tunnels downtown. That's another thing to consider if you're a bike out. Holy shit. Wind is a factor.
There's nothing like wind screaming down a 500-foot tall tower, right? I mean, it's insane. And it has no It's kind of like the trail. I don't know, the Trinity Trail. You're always riding into the wind, it seems.
No
Like,
matter
there's
which
always
direction,
a
yeah.
headwind. It's like you think you're going to get that relief. Like, oh, cool, we're going north east now. We're
With
going
the
to get the
wind.
wind.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, it's right in your face.
Yeah.
You know, it's so crazy.
Yeah, riding with the wind. Oh man, there's nothing like it.
Oh yeah. The only problem is when you start out riding with the wind and you don't hear anything, you know, and you're like, oh, this is so nice. I'm going so fast. It's like, oh, I'm gonna have to turn around.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be, you know, suffer fest. But
yeah, for sure. I'm gonna wait for Marcus to get back, but from your perspective as a lieutenant, well, that was quick. You got a little baby bladder.
Oh, it is big.
Just be careful, y'all's headphones.
yeah.
Sorry, LT, you got the crappy set of headphones. I tried to get the good set, would not work for me. So
That's all right. I mean, I can hear just fine.
oh, okay, you're good.
Yeah.
All right, I apologize.
No, you're good. So we definitely, I think we hammered down on the officer level, but as a lieutenant level, and then somebody who's been a sergeant around the bike unit as well, what is your perspective? What is the things that you're looking for from bike units?
I think one of the main things is like we talked about that rapid response, being able to grow, you know, in our ability to adapt, and change with as there. You know, it's kind of like my first lieutenant in the bike unit. He told me, he's like, hey, you know, these bars have about a 5-year lifespan, right? 5 years, it's the place to go. Everybody wants to go there, and then it dies, and something new pops up, and a new little area of town becomes, you know, where the it place. And so being able to respond to that and just constantly, you know, change. I think, you know, just keeping equipment readily available and in good shape. Um, just minor things like stickers on your bikes can change morale. You know, like
Yeah.
you know, when it looks all ratty and torn up, you're like, I don't want to ride this bike today. But I would say just keeping the motivation to go out. Like I said, it's hard to, in a confined area, it's hard to find that will to constantly patrol and ride in circles.
Yeah.
Right. So the ways you can mix that up and change it, and you know that this morning part of the day is going to be handling the transients, and then your evening is going to be the accidents if people leave it downtown. So filling that gap in between with either training rides or, you know, going down to the range and practicing. I mean, there's just a plethora of things you can do to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
And then getting support from upper administration as far as budgetary needs and training requests and those kind of
Is that part of your responsibilities as a lieutenant, is the budgetary stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
And so a lot of those things I was never aware of. Like I said, I was like, I can't believe we don't have an equipment budget for this, or a training budget, or a uniform budget. I mean, there's just a lot of holes that we've relied on through public support, which is great. They're willing to do it, but we shouldn't be constant, because that public support group also funds all the neighborhood patrol officers and their bike needs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that money gets stretched thinner and thinner as the city grows.
Right.
And the costs are going up and up and up. You know, I mean, it's $1,200 to outfit a new bike off. You know, just with
just clothing and equipment.
Yeah.
That's not even the bike.
It's not even the bike. So it's like those kinds of things you have to watch. They add up quickly, and just keeping retention of officers who want to do the job and want to be in the bike unit. I mean, before, we had officers in the unit who've been there 15 years. You know, I mean, they spent most of their career there. And now it's the more senior officers are kind of in that 7-year range.
Yeah.
And you need that experience. You know, you just like in patrol, you need those guys that are willing to teach the younger officers how to do it. And it is a transition from patrol. It requires a different skill set. Not only do you have to be adept at being an officer, you also have to be adept at being on a bike.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like an airplane. You're always managing something, right? Like you're not just on autopilot on a bike. You know, if you're on autopilot, you're going to crash.
Yeah.
So you're kind of looking at, hey, where's my, what gear am I in? I'm about to stop. Now I got a downshift. Then I got this guy coming across the street. He's yelling and screaming. You know, what am I going to do? So it's taking into account all those different things, you know, and just finding officers that are good at that and transitioning is a key, and retention.
One of the, and this is from officer's perspective moving up, one of the problems that I had with bikes when I was there is I lost a lot of crime fighting ability. And why did I lose it? It wasn't because I didn't have the motivation and I was unsupported. Here I am trying to do some proactive stuff, and I'm getting grief from coworkers that had been doing the job for years. And then on top of that, I have no backup from the sergeant or the lieutenant to support the ideas that I was trying to breathe, new life into a position that started just being handling accidents, dealing with transients, and helping with bar closings. Like, I wanted to catch other stuff. There was stuff there to be done.
It takes that certain leader in that position.
Yes.
And we had somebody in that position.
Yeah, for a bit. But that is, I'm giving you my perspective because you're in a position to look out for these things. That's one of the reasons I started losing the passion for it, and why I got out and tried something different, was because I had tried so long to do different things and just kept getting not necessarily told no. I just didn't have anybody else that was willing, that was higher up, to support that need. And with you talking about now your senior guys are 7 years or whatever, it's like, I look at that and I'm like, all right, now you've got somebody that still should have that light and that fire to try these new things. Like, imagine having that centralized unit, and you're going to have to tell 4 or 5 of your guys, hey, I need you to go over to the hospital district and deal with car burglaries. Well, when's the last time you dealt with that working in a downtown area? You haven't. Do you know what to look for anymore? Is it still, have you lost that sharpness? Cause I did. I had to get it back.
I'd say, yeah. I mean, cause you just become accustomed to those things, talking to people.
Yeah.
Or a homeless person. But
you end up being like a firefighter.
When I went back,
firefighters.
When I went back to patrol, being in a car from the bike unit, it was a
wake up call.
Not only was it a wake up call, I enjoyed it. I went back.
Right.
I got back into the car. I was answering calls.
Breath of fresh air, right?
And it was like, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm the taking calls left and right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And that is a difference. And that's actually something I've been thinking about. Like, he asked, I think it was Richard that was asking, what's the disadvantage? When you're in a patrol car, you have a terminal with you, right? You have access to the information. On a bike, you don't have access to the information
You got to
unless
ask for it
dispatcher
all.
gives it to you,
Yeah.
right? And then you've got to process it, remember it all as you're riding to the scene.
Yeah.
And then anytime you have to attach any information, you've got to ask the dispatcher, hey, attach this. And whether or not they do is up to them, right?
Yeah.
So then you get back to do your report. That would be an advantage of going back to the patrol car after being in a bike and being like, wow, I know where everything is. I can see where everyone is. I can, respond. But it's also a larger area, so.
And it goes again, this is kind of outside the scope, but patrol is so far behind when it comes to technology.
Mm-hmm.
There is no reason that you can't have an MDC right here.
Oh yeah.
There's no reason.
Yeah.
There is no reason. So as a bike officer, like, that is something that would give me a critical advantage. Because we already talked about the advantages of being a bike cop. Now imagine having an MDC with you and the ability to look up stuff.
There's cities out there with iPads that bike officers have them.
Right, iPads, stuff like that. But that's what I'm saying is, like, the technology needs to be. There needs to be some energy put into that. Just saw your text. He's like, need a pee-pee. It's so funny. Yeah, that's the beauty of doing live. Just fucking go. Doesn't matter. We'll keep talking. We don't need you.
Edit it out.
But I don't edit nothing on live. We're good. As long as you don't pee your pants.
Try not.
Which actually I'd probably leave in.
All the cool people are doing it.
Yeah.
So,
if Miles Davis does it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I think if I think of more stuff, I'll hit it. But if I haven't hit anything that you guys can think of that you want the general public to know, as far as it comes to being a bike patrol officer and the things that are involved and all that stuff, go ahead and chime up whenever you get the notion. but I want to get into the extracurricular side of being involved in bikes. Another way to reach the community. James Shiderly said, "Yes, Marcus, when I got transferred to patrol from motors, it was an eye-opening experience." I'm sure he meant how the department has changed along with so much after 10 years, not so meth. Freudian slip comes with the career.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you on mobile?
Yeah. Are you doing push to talk?
Yeah.
Or speak to text?
Autocorrect.
Yeah. But you guys are both heavily involved with the North Texas
Police Cycling Team.
Police Cycling. Okay.
Yeah.
So with this club, it's all police officers.
That's correct.
You guys have a community outreach. So you have the community aspect of that, as well as the competitive aspect of that, and then the internal aspect of police camaraderie. Right. So let's dive into that. What does it do? Who is it? What's involved with it? What are you guys doing?
Well, so of course, I got into cycling, and it's become, my number one thing. I mean, I don't have time for anything, and my wife will kill me for saying this, but it's my priority for cycling right now is so high. It's a selfish sport. I'll tell you that right now. I spend hours and hours and hours in the garage. I spent 4 hours out today on the road, riding, and I thank my wife so much for letting me do it because, it does take a lot of time, and she's with the kids while I'm doing it.
So while we're on that, before you move on to the next thing, is it a mental clarity thing? Is it a mental health booster for you in dealing with a first responder career field?
It gets away. Yeah, it gets you away. I mean, you have to have, just like military and things like that. I can't remember what I was looking at. I think it was on Twitter or something where they were talking about, okay, the military, you get deployed, you're out there, you're on that deployment for 6 months or so. You're in that mode for that long. You don't have to actively turn it off. Being an officer, you have to turn it on and off. Maybe that was
my podcast.
That was yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
His podcast.
I apologize.
I know, it's awesome.
I apologize.
It shows you watched. Hey,
that was great.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I didn't.
No, that's awesome. No, that's cool. Like it's cool.
Somewhere on the internet.
Yeah.
I've always thought that to go off of that, like, never was in the military, but having a lot of friends who were and everything, and just kind of looking at it, you're in a foreign place, and you're basically policing in a foreign land, right? These aren't your own people. When you come back here, you're having to police your own citizens,
right.
And it's a very challenging role because it's such a gray line that you're towing all the time. Yeah. And you do things, you're like, man, that is terrible. I had to just the, family violence, for instance, right? Like, it's a very personal thing, but you have to take action. You're forced to. And there's so many dynamics to that you don't even see, that we're not aware of. We're going to solve somebody's problems in 15 minutes that have been brewing for,
years,
15 years, right? And it's like, well, fix it. And then you're like, well, my only option now is this. And, and then you just create a whole bunch of other problems for that family potentially. So that is kind of the difference between like that military and police mindset. And turning it off.
Turn it off. I mean, it's a way to turn it off. I mean, because me with cycling it has nothing to do with the police side. I'm riding with people who have nothing to do with cops. They're doctors, they're bike shop mechanics, they're whatever they are. So I mean, I separate it. When I'm at work, I'm at work. When I'm off work, it's nothing police. Yeah. I mean, my social media and all that is very, very, very limited on police stuff because I turn it off.
Yep. I think it's important. It's something I've actually prefaced on this before, is like my friends, like the people I surround myself with, none of them are cops.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get me wrong. I do have cop friends and I love having them, but the cop friends I choose to have, when we're together, we're not talking police shit. So I see you guys looking at it.
Yeah.
Well, there's some comments coming in, but I do think, like, I'll say this. So we're all about the same level of experience, right? We've been here about the same time. You look at the difference, like, we're 20 years in. Most, 20-year officers 20 years ago did not stay in shape.
No.
They did not
Heart
find
attacks, heart disease was number
Yeah.
one killer of cops a long time.
smoking.
Yeah.
I mean, like I remember getting in
Drinking.
cars when you're a rookie, and that day shift officer's been in there. And
The car smells like straight casino.
Yeah.
shout out to all the day shift officers that are smoking out there.
Yeah.
But I mean, you just go in and just ashes everywhere, and you're like, oh my God, I want to puke right now.
Yeah.
This is terrible. But it was acceptable in society. And then as we, kind of said, smoking really isn't the greatest thing. And now we have these positive outlets. Like today at the bike shop, it was like, oh, there is my first ride with this group. And they're like, oh, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm a police officer. And then they're like, what is this? Just like Copland? Because there was a North Orchard Hill officer there. There was a Watauga officer there. There's a couple of, our agencies, it's just like, wow, this is all, but we're doing something that clears your mind.
Yeah.
And like he was saying, it's a selfish endeavor in a way that you're trying to achieve a goal that most people, like for me, I did powerlifting back in the 2018 police games, right? So here I am switching disciplines completely, right? Like it's just like, well, what's next, right? What's the next?
Got to lose
challenge?
all that muscle now.
I know it was very evident today. I'm about 20 pounds overweight, but for what I need to be. But
you're fine.
Anyway,
just enjoy the journey. That's what I tell people.
It's
I'm just talking
separation.
about
it's a
the
separation.
extracurricular,
and so cycling. I mean, it's.
So
I don't know.
Here's the unintentional byproduct I see from the outside looking in. You guys both just said it. You're out with people. They know you're a cop.
Yeah,
that comes up eventually, and here they are seeing you be anything but. You're anything but a cop.
It humanizes.
So you got the humanizing factor, but it's just that natural seeing you do something that I get that a lot doing jiu-jitsu, because believe it or not, there's a lot of felons that like to roll. So, when you're rolling at a jiu-jitsu place and the guy you're rolling with reeks of weed, or the person they've been arrested a lot of times. We cut it up, we bullshit, and there's never a mention, very rarely, of anything that has to do with what we did or who we are as far as our career.
Mm-hmm.
It's just us getting to see each other like as who we are. Because I tell people all the time, this is a career field that I love and I'm all about. I'm fully invested in, but it's what I do. It's not who I am.
Yeah, it's a job.
Yeah,
it's a job that I love doing.
Yeah. So when we get into hobbies and passions like cycling and shit, like that's what I like to hear is like, you're out there, you got doctors, you got bike shop people, you've got, a guy that works a 40-hour a week that's got a dad bod that's out there like giving you shit because you're blowing him out of the water that day. Like the movie This Is 40. Like, oh, I love it because when you watch that bike group ride together, it's very realistic.
What was great about that movie is
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't?
What?
Cycling was when I was first getting into it from a road aspect. And
the dorky shit you got to wear.
Yeah. And then and then the guy pulls out an Infinity G37. He's like, it's always the guy in Infinity. And at the time we had an Infinity G, so I was like, it's like right now, it's always the guy in the Dodge truck that rolls smoke on cyclists and honks at you and everything. Yeah. No offense to Dodge truck owners out there.
Yes, I got a Dodge truck on the drive. It's gas. It's not diesel.
So this is one of those things. Yeah. You got to watch that.
Yeah. Millie's life said family support helps. Yeah, for Definitely. Sure. Cycling and being fit, it's a huge factor in good mental. Yes, I'm all about
being fit.
Being fit is a mental health thing.
It's not only, not only for the career field, but I mean, you got to be fit. You got to stay healthy, not be like super fit, but you got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
I see a lot of today's norm is glorifying obesity. And I don't understand how or why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking earlier before we got started. I'm studying for sergeant, and I have shut off everything extracurricular. Like the fact that I'm doing this is huge. Like, cause I've got enough podcasts recorded that I've covered all of my study time from here till March 22nd.
Nice.
I did that intentionally.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to have to focus on the podcast. But I have stopped completely, basically working out. The one thing that I am doing for my own mental health is I'm a walker. When I listen to things, like if I talk on the phone to somebody, I'm up
you're
and moving. Yeah, I
You're the
pace.
pacer.
So it's the same when I'm listening to these books. I can't run. We were talking. He's like, "Why don't you jog?" I was like, "I can't. I don't retain the same way as if I'm walking." So I'm walking 6-7 miles to listen to a good chunk of the books that I got to study. But that is what's keeping me sane, is just that walking period.
Yeah.
And my wife knows it's the same. I got the same support. So it's important when we're talking about mental health and stuff like that. If you do not have a significant other that understands and supports what you need for yourself, that's a conversation you need to have. Both sides need to be on board with that. So I think it's important.
And we actually had that conversation. I mean,
Yeah,
me and my wife, we had an in-depth conversation, and thankfully she said she's on board. So
Yeah,
That's
the
good.
cycling commitment is huge. I mean, to actually to be where he wants to be and to be where we want to get, for July and August thing.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of work. I mean, it's just like a golfer, you're spending hours. I mean, like I feel bad if I don't ride 2 hours on Zwift, right?
I get grumpy.
It's like
Yeah.
you have to get on them. You
Yeah.
have to spend the time.
You got to
pedaling.
condition the taint.
Yeah.
But once you get it conditioned,
When it gets like leathery, then you're set.
you're good to
like,
go.
When it gets like alligator skin, you're good.
Right?
Yeah.
And when your Brooks saddle becomes your taint, you're
Exactly.
you're good to go. So
Well, in the old days of the Tour de France, they used to just take slabs of meat, and that was their
I still do it.
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
To cool it off?
Well, to cool it off and to provide cushioning, they would just take a
What?
slab of steak. And
I
sit
never
on
heard that.
Yeah,
Oh,
little thing. I mean, but they also smoked
Not
while
the
they were
T-bone.
riding.
And drink beer.
Yeah, not the T-bone.
Not the T-bone.
Not the
Yeah.
T-bone.
Now, did they eat the meat when they were done?
I don't think so.
Did they let it go to waste?
Seasoned.
Yeah, I bet it's got a good salt content to it.
And that's when we've gone too far.
Yeah. All right. So let's get back to North Texas cycling.
Okay,
Please
so-
cycling.
You had asked me about the whole cycling. I just wanted to bring up, as far as the bike cop thing, it really brought me into the community part. I thrived on the community part when I was a bike officer, and and that's when we started the memorial ride.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
tried to get routine, community type patrols on the trails and things like that. But that's my whole cycling just started from being on the bike unit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Memorial Ride was one of my first long events in preparation for, I think it was hotter than hell,
Yeah.
and
2 days of riding, 150 miles.
yeah,
It was because
But-
the first year we did it, we rode from Katy to Austin.
Yep.
And then they standardized it from San Antonio to
to
Austin.
with a stayover in San Marcos.
Yeah.
That's
But then
right.
that one year we did it. Were you in that one when we did it from Fort Worth
Yep.
to Dallas
Yep.
to
Oh,
walk?
yeah,
Then we
yeah.
bust to no, it was Fort Worth to Dallas to Waxahachie.
And then we bust.
Then we bust to Temple.
Yeah, it was weird.
And then we got caught in a hailstorm.
Yeah, I remember that.
and then
Yeah.
just those rollers up and down the frontage road.
Yep.
Oh,
The
it
hard
was-
part about that ride, okay, so anybody that understands riding and stuff like that, when you go do Hotter Than Hell or you do the MS 150 or whatever it is, you're doing your pace and you're riding with groups and you're cruising and you're in the saddle maybe 4 hours, 6 hours if you're
6
less.
hours.
Yeah. So it just depends on how long or how your level of riding. When you ride in the Texas Memorial Ride, it is in the saddle for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And then you do it again the next day for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And you go slow.
Yeah.
It's
the
a slow
is
pace.
slow.
Everybody.
Nothing faster than 15 miles per hour. I think that was the pace.
It's right around
Yeah,
there.
13.
Yeah.
13 riding. So when you calculate it all up, your pace was really only like 11.
Yeah.
And it's just being in the saddle that long.
And a big group, it's 75 officers, or more, and you all stay in a group.
Yeah.
But it's a great cause. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
there you go. Great cause.
Absolutely.
And I love it. I do it every year.
We're doing it this year again.
Oh, you guys doing
This is
it?
the first year back from COVID, right?
Yeah.
So basically, if anybody doesn't know, all the proceeds go to families of police survivors that were killed in the line of duty, and it pays for them to go to camps with their children, and it allows the survivors to just get a break, honestly. I mean,
And talk to other families that have gone through the same thing.
The very first one, I mean, I just stumbled across it. When we went,
Yeah, when
it
we
was just
did that.
me, you, and Joey.
Yeah.
And
And my dad.
Oh, yeah, your dad went
My
too.
dad, as
I
the
remember that.
lieutenant, went.
Yeah.
Then
And
he
I
started
just
driving
stumbled.
the RV.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I stumbled across it and I was like, hey, let's go. And
Yeah. Not only did we do that, we ended up finding an officer's family from our own department. We had no clue was going to be there.
yeah.
Mhm.
And
That
that
was
iconic
nuts.
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That was a
was
great
great.
moment.
That was a great moment. I believe it was Justin. Oh, I cannot think of his last name. He
The one who took the picture.
the one that took the
I
picture.
don't remember.
Reynolds?
No. He's from another department.
Yeah.
Shoot, I am blanking on his name. He's a fitness buff too. Big into the CrossFit stuff. But yeah, he took a picture of us.
He's here in North Texas, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's still doing CrossFit.
Oh yeah, he's got the whole setup at his house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm friends with him on Facebook. I could probably
Yeah.
find him.
But yeah, he took the picture. But we just stumbled across that, and of course, and it was maybe 30 or 40 officers. Wilder.
Justin
Yes.
Wilder.
30 or 40 officers.
Shout out to Justin Wilder
At the very start, and now it's grown so much, and I'll go every year. So
Yeah, it's great.
So it's a Texas Peace Officers Memorial Ride.
Yeah.
Now TPOMR.org.
Yeah.
Now, but there's another ride, but that's motorcycles is not affiliated with, I think. So you have to be careful.
yeah, they say like the Ride for Fallen or something.
Yeah.
You just you got to know your ring, and you got to know your
Yeah, vroom vroom.
vroom.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. So with your group and the stuff with the police group, the Texas North Texas Police
Yeah, North Texas Police
Cycling. I want to make sure I get it right. North Texas Police Cycling. You all compete.
Right.
Okay. So when you compete, you guys are going against FD and police around the nation?
Right. So the games, it's the World Police and Fire Games. So
Okay.
it's police, fire, and they've opened it up to basically all first responders.
Dispatchers,
Yeah.
retired law enforcement and fire,
EMS stuff
customs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's on a world level.
Okay.
So it's held at different every 2 years. It's somewhere else in the world, just like your regular Olympics.
Gotcha.
It's the second largest athletic event behind the Olympics too. I think what was it 2 years ago or no, last year they had 10,000 participants from all over the world.
10,000 athletes.
I'm marking the time down so when this YouTube video comes out, you can make a clip of it and so
gotcha.
people can see that.
Thank you.
So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so they're expecting 10,000 people, 10,000 athletes to compete in Olympic style games. And then on top of the Olympic style games, they have the specialty police and fire type, shooting, ladder climbs, hose dragging, things like that.
Gotcha.
Tug of war.
So yeah.
Tug of war.
Yeah. So when you guys do that, like what's the winning? What do you win?
You win a medal.
Okay.
It's they have gold, silver, bronze medals.
Is it real gold?
I don't know.
I don't know.
They break
If
it
you
up by
got that
age.
many people, that damn well better be gold because I'm sure it costs money to get in.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm paying, a couple $100 in registration fees. So
Okay.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you've guys got hotel expenses and all of that stuff to have to
travel expenses, hotel expenses, entry fees.
Okay.
You got to eat things
food.
like that.
So what I'm
Yeah.
trying to get at is you guys are trying to raise money
Yes.
for people that support this cause. And how can people do that if they want to?
We're on Instagram.
Okay.
We're on all platforms. We're Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. But on our Instagram, there is a link in the profile. It's a organization, a civilian organization that's holding our funds, and they've supported us. They've supported police bikes in general for years and years and years, and it's a great group of people.
Are you talking about the bike support group?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't know if I could say it.
Oh, for sure. We're not mentioning the department. We're talking
Okay.
about the group that helps.
Yeah.
They're a 501c3.
Okay, so it's a
So,
nonprofit.
Nonprofit.
Nice.
Yeah. So they can donate there. And
So
then
there is a link. Yeah. So when you click on the link, it has information for donations and
the link is located where?
On the Instagram.
On your guys' Instagram
Right.
account?
Instagram, the profile.
Okay.
So you click on the link and there's a little space for comments. North Texas Police Cycling, World Police Games.
Very cool.
And It's
When is it? When do you guys go?
the games are July 28th through August 5th.
Yeah, and they have a full inauguration ceremony with all the countries coming in.
Really?
I mean, yeah.
Oh, other
fireworks.
countries.
No, this
This
it's
is
world.
worldwide. I mean,
Oh shit!
So literally, we're going to be up against like potentially pro cyclists.
This is Olympic.
So if you guys want to know how to fight communism, this is your chance to help.
so just take the Olympics, the Summer Olympics that you see on TV, and just replace the name with police, fire, EMS, this and that.
No shit.
And they're all first responders.
They have wrestling. They have jiu-jitsu as well.
They have jiu-jitsu.
I think so.
No shit.
Don't quote me. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Okay. Wrestling, I wouldn't do good at, but jiu-jitsu, I wouldn't. Well, I haven't rolled
since you've been studying.
Yeah.
So we're expecting some good competition.
Yeah.
I mean, especially like the cycling part. All these, of course, European cycling is.
Now, when you guys go, do you get to represent your department?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
So we're going to part of the reason we did that as North Texas Police Cycling is it's such a time requirement. Even in a department the size of ours, finding enough team members is really tough, especially with the time constraints.
Well,
and
not only that, but it's so you take cycling in general, okay, as a sport.
Not a lot of people.
How many people do you know are exactly? So it's a smaller niche sport, and then within that sport, you have to find police and fire officers, or police officers and firefighters. So that group gets even smaller. So of course, I went around, looking for all these different agencies. Hey, do you have any riders? This and that. You want to enter these games? And that's why we developed North Texas, because
you got to pull together the limited resources. I get it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I didn't know any other way to do it.
He came to me, because I just came to lieutenant position back in August, and he's like, "Hey, the World Police Games are here." Because I remember in powerlifting they went to Chengdu, China.
Yeah, they went to China. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm not gonna. I liked how you said that. But anyway,
did I do a Trump?
You kind of did. I don't think it was subliminal.
China.
Yeah. So we.
I'm the best at it. No one can do it like I said it. Sorry.
So they went to Chengdu and they had the games there, and that was the last games before COVID. So then they caught up with the games last year in Rotterdam, and now it's in Winnipeg. So he goes, "It's in Winnipeg." I'm like, "Well, that's just right up 35. It's a straight shot. It's like driving to Ohio, right?"
Ugh.
So we kind of got this whole harebrained idea, like, let's do this, And so I think we're going to be able to use department equipment to transport the bikes and secure them and everything else. Well, hopefully.
Hell yeah.
So that'd be kind of cool. And that's all marked. So that's another community relations aspect.
I was going to say, just people seeing, cowboy cops riding all the way. I mean, that's going to be huge.
We're wearing cowboy hats.
I was going to say, I highly recommend the cowboy hats all the way up. Please do that.
Yeah. So, this is kind of Mark's.
I've adopted the Southern wear.
Yeah.
So
you're almost a true Texan.
I'm here now. I say y'all. I drink Dr. Pepper. So
I just saw the opportunity and
okay,
like, let's do it, man. And
so people need to go out, need to help support the cause, donate, help get these guys out there.
And then any unused funds will go back into that 501c3.
Okay, good to know.
Which helps bike officers in general.
Nice. So with that, like I said, let's say you're not even the most police supportive person, guys, we can fight communism.
It's true.
We can fight communism.
We can do it on a bike.
On a bike. Here. This is going to be like the bicycling version of Rocky 5.
Or Miracle on Ice.
Rocky 5000.
Miracle on Ice. There you go. There's another one. If you're a hockey fan, which everybody should be. Okay. So we've got yours. Now you said you wanted to mention Hells Angels.
So they're a supporter of ours. Actually, a family member there. I'll just say their name because they're so cool. David and Sonia Baker. They have been so instrumental in raising money for MS-150 throughout the years. Hells Angels is their team, and consistently is the number one fundraiser for MS research in the MS-150 year after year in DFW, and also like in Houston and other places too. Is a really strong great group of people, and basically anybody who doesn't know, MS-150 is a 150-mile ride that supports MS research. You start out one day typically in Frisco, ride to Texas Motor Speedway, spend the night, and then ride into downtown.
Oh, the
Fort
second
Worth.
day is the worst.
And it's always into the wind, right?
Yeah.
So it's just your first day, you're like, oh, crosswind, cool. And
Yeah.
then the second day, it's just straight into the wind. But they donated as well personally, and we just thank them. And I think you're doing MS-150 this year.
Yeah, I'm going to
correct?
try and make it.
I'm going to be out of town. I'm still signed up. I'm still raising money, but I'm not going to be able to do the ride.
I'm signed up, raising money. I'm just because I mean, my race season is I have it set, but then I don't. So I don't know. I've got a lot of races.
And it really picks up then too.
Yeah.
But,
what is a race season
Well, it's
for
starting
road? We're talking road.
So the
right?
road season, I'd say the road season's opening up next weekend, and there's a race in Cedar Hill, and then it's it's just back up. I mean, right after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, there's another one. Another week, there's another one,
Yeah.
and it's rotating throughout the state.
So if somebody wants to get into road riding, there's categories.
there is
to levels. Like in jiu-jitsu, there's belts, there's a system. Now with riding, there's also a system.
Yeah, I mean, when you want to get into the racing aspect of riding a bike, they have these. It's the USA Cycling. They have these categories of. And they start out your beginners are 4 or 5, and then it goes up from there 3, 2, and then your Cat 1 Pro Cat 1 races. Those are extremely
What
hard.
category are you, sir?
I'm 3.
You're a 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say I'm on the top end of 3.
Makes sense for a person that's in their 40s.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm 42.
Yeah.
42. I started late, but
Yeah,
hey,
you're here now.
I'm here now.
And you're having fun.
But I'm trying to bridge that gap to Cat 2. It's just the gap from 3 to 2 is very, very hard.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've done like this last season. I've entered some 1, 2, 3 races, and I've stuck with them. Am I winning those races? No, but I'm there. So
Yeah.
it's
at
good,
a bare
training.
minimum. Some of the donations people give to your guys' team should be podiums.
Yes.
Mobile podiums. Is an inside joke. You guys are going to see Marcus posted a picture of him placing. Third.
It was third in age group.
Yeah,
it was
third place. I would be proud of it, but
I'm disappointed myself.
The podium was
overall
the stools that you keep next to your toilet for like perfect poop posture. That's what they stood on.
Hey, like I was on the ground. I didn't get one.
You didn't even get one. Yeah,
it was like the Werner little Home Depot stool.
Yeah.
Right? But hey, we were in Valley View, Texas, in their defense. I mean, there's not a lot going on.
Come on, they should have some woodworkers or something that has a podium. Come on, guys.
We're gonna introduce him to your dad.
Millie.
I attended one community ride. Was that a rolling town hall?
Oh yeah, that's a good. We didn't even mention rolling town hall. So if your city is out there, another good community outreach thing that we've been, at least where we work, that we do. What I think our mayor started at the time, former mayor, is these rolling town halls. Our mayor was a cyclist, and we would have these pre-scheduled events where you would ride with cops, the mayor, other city council members, or whoever, and the citizens, and we just ride around town,
all around different sides of town.
Yeah, it was and awesome. Talk and have cops working as police function to set up rolling blocks and stuff like that, but roadblocks so traffic doesn't hit us. But it was great.
Some of the bikes you'd see on that were really cool too.
BS and bullshit and ride and get to know each other, and it was just a cool way to open up conversation with people. So rolling town halls are a good call. Thanks for bringing that up, Millie. But I'm sorry, we got to get back to Hell's Angels.
Yeah, I think that was it.
That was it?
Yeah.
So nothing, you guys got a ride coming up, anything like that?
So their ride is May 6th, right?
Oh, it's one ride a year? Kind of like
MS-150
or something
so
like that?
In the DFW area.
Okay.
So they do them in from the Houston to Austin route. They're all over the country, but the two main are the Houston one and the DFW.
Okay, nice. And what got it started? What's the main mission?
I know that for Hell's Angels, it was his mom.
Okay.
That kind of led to him wanting to donate and do more.
Gotcha.
And like on our jerseys, we have some Easter eggs in, honor of her and everything. So
awesome. Well,
and most people that ride have a personal story, and there are several riders who ride with MS in the ride. And so that's really touching too.
Yeah.
It's always kind of humbling when you do like MS 150 or Hotter Than Hell, and you see somebody that doesn't have arms, or they're riding with MS, and they're just struggling. It's like, well, I can, if they're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, I'm sorry, but people with handicaps, riding and racing. I mean, I've raced Leadville as a 100-mile mountain bike race in Colorado, and there's people that do it up there with missing an arm, missing a leg, and that's a hell of a hard race, and they're doing it, and I'm out there about to quit, and this guy rolls by me, what I mean? It's like,
damn it,
yeah.
now I got to keep going. Yeah,
exactly.
Yep. Yeah, you're absolutely right, and just helping. That's another thing with these group rides is it's like golf. You're playing against yourself, but the difference in these group rides is you're also helping each other out mentally. You see somebody start to slack, or they're fading, and then you get on them. You're like, come on, dude, just push it a little more. And all of a sudden that mental clarity, a little spark, and all of a sudden they're back in it. And it was because you guys helped. It's a very supportive type thing. And I think that's what goes into the mental health part of it is those group rides. If you have never been a part of it and you're looking as a first responder as a way to get in shape, to help with your own fitness and your mental health, like it's a good way to start. Get
grab
you a bike
and come out and ride.
Because there's nothing like going back to your childhood and being like, for me, I hadn't been on a bike since I was 15 because I couldn't drive yet.
A lot of these bike shops around the whole area, I mean, they all have rides that lead out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
they're they want people out there.
Yep, I agree. You guys got anything else?
And it's just so cool to go out and hop on your bike and not
Yeah.
feel limited at all,
Yeah.
right? Like you can just go anywhere.
Feel
You're
free.
like, oh, I'm in another town now,
Yeah.
and it's just like, well, I'll grab a coffee or a burger here, and then I'll ride home. It's just like you said, that kid mentality of
it's what it feels
freedom.
like. It's like a nostalgia every time you get on.
Running
except for when you go up hills.
It's 10 times better in running.
Oh, and especially if you have knee problems or whatever,
Mhm.
and you get properly fitted, you're not going to have back issues. I know a lot of people complain about that, but you get properly fitted on your bike, you're going to be fine, and just spin away. So
42 and in great shape. Mom is proud.
Yeah, that's my mom.
That's your mother?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's why. He didn't say nothing. I was like, who's Millie?
Yeah.
No, that's good though, bro. Well, guys.
So she didn't do the rolling town hall then?
She did one of them, I think.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Nice.
Can't remember which one it was, but
I don't remember her being there, so I wasn't there for that one.
Yeah, I
definitely remember your mother showing up to one of our rides because I would have busted your balls. So
my mom actually did a cyclocross race.
Wow.
She did a few of them actually.
No shit.
She pinned a number on. Oh yeah.
Dang.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Killed it. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, fellas. I think I'm good. You guys good?
I'm good.
I think so.
Well, I'm hoping to see a Two Cops One Donut logo on your jersey when you guys get out there.
What are you willing to do for that?
I just gave you a fucking free podcast, sir.
We're gonna need a vector file.
True. Yeah, a vector file.
I don't know what a vector file is.
A picture,
but I got a PNG picture.
Yeah, we'll get you with.
Yeah, I'll send you an email.
Okay, cool.
With who you need to.
We'll put you on the jersey.
Hell yeah, that'd be awesome.
That's just a cool logo too. I mean, that'd be great to have on them.
We got that looks like it has boobies on it.
Yeah, it won't be like that one.
Okay.
I still have that one, by the way.
Yeah, I do too.
I brought that up to somebody the other day. I'm like, you ever notice how that one looked like? And he's like, oh yeah, I never noticed it until you said so. I was like, it's the first thing I see.
The first thing I saw.
What does that say about me?
Yeah.
I guess.
My maturity level hasn't increased since I turned 15.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's basically.
But yeah, it's
I'm good. I'm cool with it.
Big thing is I'm all geared for these Olympics, man. It's I can't. Texas game. No, I haven't done the Texas games in a while.
I haven't.
The state of Texas has their own police games as well.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't done them in a while. But
All right.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's
But this
definitely
is
my
gonna
A
be
race.
way bigger.
Oh,
I
10
mean,
times.
this is gonna be huge. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, just thinking about when we started this, it was kind of like a ragtag. Like, well, let's see if we can make it happen, and we need, you know, people. And then all of a sudden, some funds started rolling in, and people started getting behind it, and we got one of our teammates, you know, Ruben, designing jerseys, and found a kit supplier, and it was like, wait a minute, and then all of a sudden we had enough funds to book the hotel for the stay, because you know, I mean, it's because we're gonna have to leave here like July 26th, and we're not getting back until August 7th. You know,
It's
I
over a
mean,
week, yeah.
you know, so I mean, it's like it's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of time away from family. It's a lot of time on the road. It's a lot of time doing everything. And we're like, wait, this is actually happening. You know, and now it's.
I mean, you're representing your country.
Yeah.
And you're getting to go into a whole nother country
That's
and do
nuts.
it. You know,
Yeah.
and
Representing a country in a Olympic style sport. You know,
Yeah.
it's not the Olympics, but it's damn near close.
It's as close as you're gonna get.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially at 42.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless they start coming out with some new pills that are undetectable, you are not going to be in the Olympics. But
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
So,
it really is.
okay. How can people go to donate and how can they find you? And then we'll cut it.
The Instagram has a link, bikesupportgroup.org.
What's the Instagram?
A North Texas Cycling NTX. Oh,
No. NTX Police Cycling.
Let me look. Let me just make it official. Let me look.
Yeah. Because I get it confused.
Yeah, I know I do too. So it's NTX_police_cycling.
Okay.
And it has the link on there to donate. We'd appreciate anything you can give us. We're trying to send a team up to compete, represent not only our department, but the United States.
Hell yeah.
And we're hoping to bring home some hardware. We'll see.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, fellas. I appreciate you being on.
Hey,
Thank
thanks
you.
for having us, man.
Not a problem, man.
Good catching up.
Thanks, everybody. We're going to cut it. Later.
Are we done?
We